Kipkalia Kones killed Salat Jr. He killed Salat Jr. He organized, that is Salat, a brother to Nick Salat. Nick Salat, until the other day, he was a very senior person in KANU. And this is how it was. He saw that the Salat was to be a threat to him in the 1992 general elections. So he organized for guns to come all the way from Uganda, AK-47, and that is how Salat Jr. was killed. Then the Salat family organized themselves. Later, Nick Salat, a brother to the Salat who was shot dead, became the MP. Now, let me give you a history of Kipkalia Kones from the word go. During Moi's time, Moi used to associate himself with old, semi-literate people. People like Mulu Mutisia, people like Njenga Karume. They also used to run tribal organizations. So, among the Kipsigis, Moi was very close to Isaac Salat. Isaac Salat was a mono-eyed, and people used to call him Moshe Dayan, because Moshe Dayan was an Israelite general with one eye. Now, those are people who were untouchables. But whenever there was an election, Kipkalia Kones would just contest an election with no hope of winning, but just for his name to appear on the ballot paper. Every time he used to do that. And Isaac Salat was so powerful, that he was an assistant minister, but whenever an MP wanted to become a minister, he would visit Isaac Salat and beg him to make him a minister. It used to happen like this. If a minister comes from your background and he starts misbehaving, let me call it misbehaving, and you sense that the president could remove him from the ministry, you would go to see Isaac Salat clandestinely. And after talking to Isaac Salat, you know what he would tell you? Enda shona suit. And then suddenly, at 1 p.m. news, they would announce that such and such a minister has been removed mara moja, and he has been replaced by Huatenge. And you see, that is when you become surprised and say, hey, I didn't know, whatever. And then you go there and be sworn. The reason why Isaac Salat did not want to be a cabinet minister and he was contented with being an assistant minister was his level of education. Now, as I've said, every time there was an election, nobody could contest against him because it was a done deal. But there was a gadfly, a political gadfly called Kipkalia Kones, who used to contest. Then suddenly, he died. Kipkalia Kones, Isaac Salat died. That was in 1998, if I'm not wrong. A by-election was called, and you see, these old people who were born in 1930s, they never imagined of grooming somebody to take over. They never imagined of grooming. They used to think that they'll rule forever. That is what they used to think. So he never groomed any of his children. And when the by-election was called after he had died, Kipkalia Kones sailed through. When Kipkalia Kones sailed through, he was made an assistant minister, something like that, and then it came, that was 1998, and 2 years later, 1990, is when Ouko died, was killed. Now, upon the death of Ouko, Nicholas Biwott was removed from the ministry. He was made, he was taken to an officer's mess in Embakasi GSU training school. that is being under arrest, some sort of house arrest. Since the ministry was to be headed by somebody from Rift Valley, Kipkalia Kones became the minister, the most powerful minister, just like in a Chris Murungaru, etc., etc., etc. So he became the powerful minister. But you see, even the times when Biwott used to be shuffled from the Ministry of State to maybe regional development or whatever, he usually left his tabs in the most powerful office of the presidency. When Kipkalia Kones went to that place, he started dismantling Biwott's power bases and replacing them with his own power bases. He replaced them with his own power bases, and this did not please Biwott. So Biwott sneaked and went to Bomet and started grooming. He went and brought together the family of Salat and told them to appoint one of them so as to confront to confront Kipkalia Kones. And you know, when you are Minister of State in the office of the President, you are very busy. You hardly visit your constituency. So when elections were coming, Kipkalia Kones went to his constituency and found, as people say, ground in a shift. Then suddenly, the sub-district security committee of his constituency heard that he had organized for guns to be bought from Uganda and kill, because it was obvious that Salat Jr. would take it. So guns, AK-47, were bought from Uganda to go and kill him. The sub-district security committee had that. And you know, sub-district security committee are all under the office of the president. So he went, they decided to make a raid at Salat's home, at Kipkalia Kones' home, to recover those guns. They made a raid and the guns were not recovered. So when Salat came home, he was informed of that, and he transferred the whole sub-district security committee, except, of course, the intelligence officer, because nothing could be traced on him. They were transferred to far-flung areas. Then shortly after, Salat Jr. was shot in Nairobi. He was shot by an AK-47. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. That is how Kipkalia Kones organized for that one to be killed. And during the next 5 years, the family organized themselves and went behind Nick Salat, and that is how Nick Salat became what he is, a popular leader. These things I had presented before. First of all, I presented before the task force for Truth, Justice and Reconciliation, which was headed by Professor Makau Mutua, who is now a very senior lawyer in Azimio. Again, I repeated the same to the DJRC of the actual TJRC. I was ready to be cross-examined by Kipkalia Kones, but you know what happened to such reports. I'm now talking when he had died or through a plane accident. But it is unfortunate because I should have been cross-examined by him over my, or if he could. By the way, up to today, anybody I mention, when they are told to cross-examine me, they say they don't. Sorry, next witness or so and so. So it is good for people to know, especially for people from Bomet and to some extent Kericho, to know how their leader died. Keep watching. I'm happy with the way people are going to the till number, because imagine 50 people sending 50. in a day. That's good money. It gives me time to look for other information and think over. Thank you.